you also get the most random individuals chiming in.
Yeah.
And you seem to have a pretty even keel response to those folks. So what have been some of the most intense or ridiculous responses you've gotten from people online?
Where do I start? No. Let's do the main one. The main one right here. Any jiu-jitsu move, go to the ground. Whatever video I post of that, for sure if it's to the ground, there will be at least 10 comments of someone saying, oh, and then his friends come and kick you in your head. Like, and then I always respond, oh, then my friends go and kick them.
Yeah,
like, It's like, you want to do all these what if scenarios. Like, okay, it's just, I don't take it serious. Cause then it's I don't know. Or they always go like, oh, and then he stabs you. Like, I'm just behind my phone cracking up. And I'm like, these guys are, I don't know, they're crazy.
What's up, ladies and gents? It is your friendly neighborhood BJJ podcaster, Rafa Esparza, coming to you with another great installment of the Grappling Hour. We have an excellent guest. We'll get to him in a second. But first, a couple quick reminders. Number one, if you don't know, now you know, we're on Patreon, folks. I would love it if you guys can come, give us some love, give some support on Patreon. But Raf, what do I get? Let me tell you what you get. For $5 a month, you get to see these interviews 30 days before anybody else. That means if there's a person that you want to see, and you want to see it now, go check us out. Patreon, $5 a month for early access. And for a few extra dollars more, you can also get what we like to call our premium members. For our premium members, we give out memberships that you get extra bonus content not available anywhere else. So that means extra interviews, little mini-sodes. We do a segment called Roast Raf, where people roast my competition footage, which I guess good luck if you're trying to roast me, because I'm probably just going to make fun of you all the more. Additionally, you can also check us out on that. Give us some love. And there is a free version that'll tell you good stuff. I'm not going to tell you much more about that, but the free version just lets you know when the embargoes end, and you can see some of the stuff that we're up to on the sneaks. So check us out, patreon.com/grappling hour. Additionally, you can check us out on YouTube. If you're watching this right now, like, comment, and subscribe. And if you don't know what you want to comment on, by the end of this video, we'll give you a prompt to go ahead and put in the comments. That's just really insulting that you have nothing to talk about this entire time, though. I would like to point that out. But just wait till the end. We'll give you a prompt. And last couple things. Join us on our Discord to continue the conversations that we have here. And look at this. Oh, my God. Am I wearing merch? Look at this. Look at this hoodie. You can get this hoodie by going over to rafesparza.com/merch. And you can get a hoodie or a T-shirt. The T-shirt actually is underneath this, too. We're super branded out here on that show. Love and support is done over on that way, and we take care of you guys who take care of us. So thank you guys very much for all of your endorsements. All right, let's get to our guest here today. So I've known this young man for a little bit, but I've been a fan of his work, and he's done some incredible videos that have gone exceedingly well on the internet. They've done incredible numbers. I mean, my man's blowing up on every single platform. But if you haven't checked out his stuff, you can always go on over to see him on YouTube or on his TikTok and just use one of the two search terms, okay? It's either going to be Sideshow Jiu-Jitsu or it's going to be Sideshow 310. Be lucky that you could have two different insignias that people follow. And our man over here, who has, I argue, and I have not told him this yet, some of the best hair in jiu-jitsu. Like, if you're watching the movie Coming to America and there's a Soul Glow commercial, I feel you are the brown people's equivalent of Soul Glow. So please welcome for the very first time on the show, one, Anthony Ruiz. How are you doing, sir?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to bring you on finally onto the show. I have to ask you this. When did you first start getting called Sideshow? Because obviously I see the hair and I think it is a nice little ode to Sideshow Bob.
Correct. Yeah.
But that means that kids had to be kind of using it as an insult, or were they throwing it, or did you throw it at yourself?
So this is the story about that. Okay. So maybe in 2015 around there, I was training at Systems Training Center in Hawthorne, and because I wanted to do an MMA fight, so I went in and then whatever I'm training, and then one of the dudes there, his name is Michael. He just started calling me that, and then eventually everyone started calling me that, like Coach Ian. And then I was like, you know what? Like I heard the best nicknames are the ones that are given to you. So then I was like, you know what? Like that's one of my favorite shows. And then like, you know, he called me that. All right, that's cool with me. You know. So,
I mean, listen, dude, it's an impressive series, locks of hair. I'm jealous of it. I have this boring, nice little flat top that works.
Not bad.
You know what it is? I have one haircut that works for my head. I do not have the ability to grow this out long. It froze. It looks very terrible, but it works. But this is the gold standard. So
thank you, bro.
Very, very big props to you. I also noticed you're wearing a gi. Okay.
Yeah.
Now you were very proud to tell me about this gi and trying to tell me about Goku like I don't know who he is. Now here's the difference. I do know who he is, but my knowledge after that is minimal. So why are you wearing this gi? And why are you wearing it right now, I guess is the question.
Okay, so Goku, if you don't know who he is, he's the main character in Dragon Ball Z. And he's you could say he's a very inspirational person. Even though it's just like a cartoon or anime, whatever. He says a lot of things that relate to like martial arts, you know, like train, you know, eat. Like you eat like a big meal after you train hard. Like you watch the show, he says so many things. And he's like, he inspires everyone, like everyone in the world, like his kids, his wife, even some of his enemies. Like he has this main, what's it called?
Like an enemy or what?
Yeah, what's that word? Your nemesis?
Your nemesis. Yeah.
So in the show, there was this like rival he had, and even though like he beat him, he didn't like try to like kill him in the show. He told him like you could be better, and then he changed that guy that was bad to become good. You know, so it's like he's a big inspiration to me. And then I was like, I seen this gi online, and I was like, oh, I gotta go get that gi. I gotta buy that gi. And so it's like I don't know. I feel like you get like a little like, you know, when you put the sticker on your car, you get 5 horsepower. I feel like when I wear this, I get like extra submission power.
Have you been able to prove that's true?
I feel it when I feel more pumped. Because when you walk in the room and everyone has white gis, they see, oh, damn. Because everyone knows who Goku is. You know?
Sure.
So they have this high like expectation, like, oh, Goku, he must be good, you know. But even if I'm not good, like maybe if they already think that in their head, then you already won the battle. You know?
Yeah, because it evens things out. Maybe it's somebody who might be better than you, but now they're doubting themselves because they're like, yo, he came in with this
like, dang, he has the Goku gi. Whoa, you know?
It's not going to go well for me. I want to know this, though. Why do you think that this anime, this character or these characters have resonated so long to the point where 20 years after you guys probably saw these cartoons, you are now wearing those gis? Like, what about these characters or these shows have stuck with you to the point where they become who you are in some part in jiu-jitsu and martial arts?
I would say it's just how good the show is, you know? Like, there's some songs from the 60s, 70s that still are a lot better than some songs now. And I feel like if it's something that's that good, it doesn't have a time span on it. Like, it'll just keep going for hundreds of years or, you know, till whenever.
What is one of those songs from the 60s and 70s?
From the 60s?
Yeah, because I want to know now.
What about Staying Alive? Is that from the 60s?
That is that's barely the 70s. You barely got that one. Okay.
That's like a song.
Because I wonder, you know, when you start to grow up in these neighborhoods here in Los Angeles, you may not grow up with a certain person, but you may speak a similar language because of the location. So for me, I'm like, well, there are certain songs that my friends were listening to when they were like, oh, we're listening to Art LeBlanc or like one of those oldie stations. And I'm like, why are you guys acting like you grew up in the 60s? Like we didn't grow up then, but it's a timelessness to those kind of songs. So, okay. I want to know this. You're wearing this gi. You enjoy this character. What are other cartoon characters that have stayed with you, but maybe not in your martial arts? Like, who are the people that you still rep and love to this day as cartoon characters?
I would say it's not a cartoon, but like the Green Power Ranger.
Oh, the green. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like when you're like a little kid, 5 years old, you see him like transform and start whooping everybody's ass. Like you just get pumped. You know what I mean? So that was the Green Ranger was a big like motivation dude for me. You know.
Did you ever want the flute? Like, did you ever ask your family?
I have the flute.
You have the flute?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I have it. And then on the other side, like it comes out like a sword, like a lightsaber. Like it's tight.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, like when you get grown up money, you start buying some unnecessary things, people.
I was thinking about this recently because I've seen a lot of my friends, they get Jordans, they get these really nice shoes. And I'm like, I just don't spend money on that. Yeah, but then all of a sudden here I am with all this camera equipment and audio equipment.
I feel like that's where it goes. You could do so much with this, you know?
Yeah. I mean, obviously there's a lot you can do, but this is just my interest. So whenever people are like getting a nice camera, I go up to them like they got new Jordans and I'm like, yo, let me see this camera. Yeah. Oh my God. Oh, that lens is out of control. Mm-hmm. Okay. So that's who stuck with you. I must ask this because maybe your training partners don't know this. Okay. Maybe they just assume this is what happens. Okay. Have you ever watched an episode or like say an episode of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers or one of those animes before going to train? And if so, how often do you do it?
Before, like on the way to training or something? Yep. Oh, I would say not, maybe, sometimes like if I'm in my spot, like cleaning, I'll put like Dragon Ball Z motivation and then it gets you pumped. Like I'll send you it's like 10 minutes long, but you'll get pumped. It has like people from like One Piece, like all these different animes are saying all this pumping up motivation stuff. Nice. It'll pump you up for sure.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about, I want to get into your beginnings of jiu-jitsu, but I want to come to that later. I want to know, when did you start doing these videos? Because they have blown up and they have done so well. And you have such a casualness about how you approach the camera that is so warm and refreshing. So where did that impulse start to making these videos?
So I started filming content, I would say when I was around like 14, 15. But I wouldn't do like these kind of videos. I would do like comedy skits, you know, or like, you know, like, because I grew up in Compton, so I'll do things related to Compton. Like, when you walk on Long Beach Boulevard, you know, like that's where like the prostitutes hang out. Like, and then things they'll say to you, like, what's up, honey? You know, like I'll make videos all about like basically where I grew up. It was, you know, it was fun. Like I like doing it. And then, I don't know, I just couldn't, like I always thought, I was like, okay, like how come none of these videos are blowing up? How come nothing's like, what's happening here? And then I was like, you know what? What's something I want to do for the rest of my life? Okay, so I like to make comedy videos and I like training jiu-jitsu. So I was like, is there some way I can combine these two? So, because what I like about doing these videos now is that it makes me a better martial artist. So I have to remember, I have to do this little detail, you know? So I just like, you know what? I remember telling Sam from my school, Sam Fernandez, I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna start making some comedy jiu-jitsu skits or something. I'm gonna see how I do it. And then out of nowhere, like one video started blowing up, and then little by little, the next video started blowing up. I'm like, all right, I think I found out what's gonna help me go up finally, you know. But I do plan like eventually to transition back to like comedy skits, you know. Okay. Because I miss doing that a lot. But I understand you must take pauses sometimes in life to.
I mean, it's a good problem to have. That you have so many people who are like, when's the next one? When does that happen? We'll get more to where you're going in a few. But I want to kind of return back to this idea. When was the first video that you felt like, oh, this is kind of blowing up? Like, what was one of the first ones that just kind of made you step back and go, oh, this is blowing up better than I thought it would?
In a jiu-jitsu video? Okay, the first one would be the machete video. So that one, I woke up one day and then I was like, this will be funny. And then I just told my friend, hey, do this real quick. And then my other friend, Lizard, my main camera dude, he
I'm sorry, wait. Yeah. Can we go back to this? Your camera dude, his name is Lizard.
Yeah, that's his name.
Why do you call him Lizard?
Because he does parkour in his style. You know how like in jiu-jitsu there's like styles? In parkour world, there's like styles. In his style, it looks like a lizard.
okay, I can get that much. But
Yeah.
do you call him by his name, or do you say
No, we
like,
call
yo,
him Lizard. Even this guy calls him Lizard.
like, so let me point this out. We were talking a little bit about the popularity of jiu-jitsu happening. Jiu-jitsu is probably the biggest sport outside of maybe anything that gets way into the rap game, where people will introduce you and be like, oh, have you met our guy? This is Lizard. And you go, okay, cool. What's his real name? It's Lizard. And then you look at them and you go, I don't want to call you Lizard. Like if I bring my wife here and I go over and I go, oh, that's Lizard. We have a guy here. His name's Crispy. His real name's Chris. But every time we come up and I introduce him to people, I go, his name's Chris, call him Crispy. And everybody goes, why would I call him Crispy? And I go, just don't ask. And then all of a sudden he goes, Krispy Kreme, you know? And I go, no, they know the donuts. Everybody knows that. So there's a lot of that we have to go through. Okay. Yeah. So Lizard, shout out, was filming and you were telling him.
Yeah. He has a bachelor's from the LA Film School.
Nice.
So he's a good cameraman. Okay. So yeah, it's like, even though I feel like the video blew up too because of him, because without a good cameraman, like nothing, like this video wouldn't exist, you know? Like the cameraman is just as important as the people in front of the camera, okay? So, yeah, he shot it good. That video blew up. I didn't expect it. I think it got up to like 5 million views. And then, then like maybe 2 weeks later, another video blew up. And this is all maybe like within like, what, 2 years? Ago, maybe. So
I remembered your videos being a huge source of relief during the pandemic specifically. Like when people are disconnected, anxieties go high, we're looking for something that's a release. The videos that I saw you gaining momentum with were just so fun. Like I forgot part of what we were going through in a pandemic, and it was very helpful to have that. So I can understand that. Does there become a pressure when it's so early, when you're doing it, to then follow up? Because if anything gets 5 million views, that's a lot of eyeballs on you, which is good. But it's also maybe internally like, oh shit, I got to top that. Like, what's my sophomore album like? Like, what am I doing here?
I would say, oh, you mean like if your next video you post gets like 1,000, you're like, eh.
I mean, maybe, but it could also be, I mean, it could come from a creative place as well. Because there's commercial, which is you want it to do well, do numbers. But then there's creative, which is, okay, the shit am I doing now? Half guard, right? That seems like something to make fun of. So is that what happened for you, or what was going on with you once you started transitioning?
It's just completely random. Like if I want to do this, let's do this. Like it's like you try a lot of things. Some videos don't get views, like that's no big deal. Like that's the way it is, you know? Yeah. It's like if you go up to like 100 girls, you're not gonna get all of their numbers. You might get like half, or you know, it's not always gonna be yes, but that's okay, you know, it's part of life. So not every video will get all those views. So it's just like an experiment, this, you know. I've noticed some videos like that are it's a specific move that if it looks very controversial, for some reason, people will talk about that move. But I feel like it varies too on how you look, who you are, what's your title. But yeah, it's just completely random.
I laugh because you also have a good sense of humor. When you get that many views, you also get the most random individuals chiming in.
Yeah.
And you seem to have a pretty even keel response to those folks. So what have been some of the most intense or ridiculous responses you've gotten from people online?
Where do I start? No. Let's do the main one. The main one right here. Any jiu-jitsu move, go to the ground. Whatever video I post of that, for sure if it's to the ground, there will be at least 10 comments of someone saying, oh, and then his friends come and kick you in your head. Like, and then I always respond, oh, then my friends go and kick them. Yeah, like, It's like, you want to do all these what if scenarios. Like, okay, you know, it's just, I don't take it serious. Cause then it's I don't know. Or they always go like, oh, and then he stabs you. Like, I'm just behind my phone cracking up. And I'm like, these guys are, I don't know, they're crazy.
Have they chained it to a point where they then have just given you the next video? Because when I look at that, what people don't understand for me is when we do a live broadcast and people try to roast me, they get most mad that we're not showing the fights. So they'll send in comments and they'll be like, hey, show us the fights. And you'll be like, no. And I go, well, turn the camera around, show us what it is. And I go, I have a very respectable channel, and I sometimes know the people who make the content we're talking about. Yeah. I'm not going to fuck over my friends and show you it. We're giving you a free product here. So then what ends up happening is I go, well, once they've made that agreement to be in the comments, now we all get to roast them. And so now I get to sit back and be like, how poor are you, dude? Like, what can't you afford? And then after this point, we've had people who go, yeah, you guys are kind of assholes. I kind of like your page. I'm coming back. And I go, yeah, that's fine. Absolutely. It's just if you want to become, it's like a heckler in a comedy club. If you want to become part of the show, people come to see me, not you. So they're going to be rooting for me. So
it's like those online Karens.
You know, but I'm just amused. I just look at them like, ooh, you gave me more content. And thank you. Yeah. We had a dead moment here. So now I can make use of it.
That's the right way to deal with it. Yeah.
But have they given you stuff to chain with? Because I've seen the comments where they go, okay, but what if? And I have to say, as asshole-ish as it is, sometimes it's not that far off from your class. Because sometimes when you're an instructor and somebody goes, coach, but what happens if like a full moon is out and like you trip and then you don't have X guard and then you end up in mount and you go, I probably wouldn't have fucked up that bad, kid, but let me hear out your scenario. So have they chained it for you a little bit?
I would say they're giving me ideas, but I haven't really done it. Like I did want to do one where because they always say, oh, then his friends come and kick you. And then I was going to carry it on. Like I was going to have friends come on and kick. And then I was going to probably go like, hey, can you not kick me? And then them go like, oh, okay. And then I just, finish their friend submitting them or something. I'm going to do it. I haven't done it yet, but that's a good idea.
I'm also sure they're probably pitching because, again, you're in a gi now. They're like, well, what if you aren't in a gi? And I tell people, I'm like, you'd be amazed the shit I could do if somebody's wearing a hoodie.
Sweater, yeah. Those are grips everywhere.
Absolutely. And one of my friends goes, he was a bigger dude. He goes, you really think that's going to even things out? And I go, well, I'm not boxing with you. So, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's like usually like the big dudes will say something like that. Because for them, it's like, all right, a punch, yeah. But like us, like it's different,
Yeah, especially when he gets mad that I've submitted him. And I go, what happened, dude? I thought the laws of science mean I suck. I mean, you big, I small. This isn't supposed to work. And then they get really mad and try sending me messages a lot.
They go
later.
like, George, go home now.
Yeah. I mean, the sad part is I also do impressions. So it depends on the person. And that means sometimes I may be able to impersonate them walking out. And they only love that more. Oh, yeah. Walk me through a creative process. So take me from start to finish. You guys film something today. So is that for a future video that we'll end up seeing?
It's like I wake up, all right. And then I don't know, ideas just come to my head. So I'll just wake up and then like usually if my parents are there, like I'll tell them to help me out real quick. Like, usually my dad comes out in my videos. He's like the bald guy. They always comment on him, telling him, is that Putin? They always say that, and I'm like,
wait. Has your dad responded to that? Has he said anything about
it? I don't want like people to like follow him and stuff.
Understood.
So it's just funny that the online is funny. Online, the internet is funny, bro.
So you wake up, you occasionally will say it to like somebody, like maybe even your parents.
Yeah, whoever's available, whoever's around. Usually like my buddy Art. RG John, like he just opened a school. That's where I teach on Thursdays. Okay. The Jiu-Jitsu Training Institute. So if he's available, I'll call him, So I always have somebody I could use, Yeah. So it's pretty cool.
Do people get worried when you're training with them that something that they did is going to end up in a video?
No, but it might happen soon.
oh no! Wait, is that because we're about to train after this? Am I going to be put in a video?
Oh no! Okay. I don't know. Maybe.
Okay. Good to know.
We'll find out in an hour.
Yeah, we will. The reason why I asked this is, for years we did a lot of memes on Verbal Tap, and I love doing it. The issue that I see with doing memes now, I say this as an old retired person for memes, is just I'm like, dude, these are the same jokes. Like I've done that joke. You guys can do it. Carry it on. And the people who I love, and there are a good handful, always come up with something fire, something new, something great. But by and large, I'm like, I don't think I can do another blue belt joke today. I think I'm going to take this one off. Having said that, when I was deep into doing them, the fear of people if they did something dumb. I was like, please don't meme me.
Oh,
and I go, I don't know. And then even if like we're rolling and I have it on footage, they go, oh, are you gonna? I was like, I don't really post them unless I ask you. I go, and it's got to be something exceptional. So I've just never known if you had something on the similar side.
They kind of they more like with me. They go like, oh, you should put that in a video. It's more like that. Yeah.
But I mean,
I understand. I'm sorry. I understand completely what you're saying though.
Yeah, it makes where I like to tell people, I'm like, no, when I'm teaching or I'm doing this, I try not to do that. I might catalog it, but the thing I used to tell people is when they're like, oh, this meme's about me that I just put it up that day. And I go, if a meme's about you, it's probably a month away from happening. Like, I'm not going to put it up tomorrow to make you feel bad. I'm probably going to put it up in 2 months where you might have forgotten about it. But I've definitely had people after those 2-month embargoes go, that was me, wasn't it? I was like, no.
Yeah. You should be like, now it is though.
I mean, no, it depends on the person. Some people I 100% just
you
go,
put a sign in the door before they come in. Like, you know, you can't be anal about things.
You know, dude, one of my buddies, his gym, he on his waiver, very first day, and I think more gyms should put this. He was like, we're going to be filming here. Like, you can't do anything about like that. You sign that as part of your waiver because I'm very big about always asking people if I did something that I think is kind of funny or whatever, especially the pro wrestling stuff. If I got a good entry on something and I go, oh, I really want to share this, I send them a note and I just go like, hey man, heads up. I thought this was funny. Can I put it up? I have almost never gotten a no because everybody has a pretty good sense of humor about that stuff. So it's just good to be able to compare those kind of things. What has been the hardest video to put out? Because you and I, although we do not do the exact thing, we understand that sometimes a camera goes dead, an audio goes dead, a good idea just isn't coming through, or you have some difficulty. So what have been some of the harder videos that you've had to put up?
I would say, well, maybe the hardest struggle has been when your phone runs out of storage. That's been the biggest headache.
So are you filming most of these just off of your phone?
Yeah, basically everything's on my phone because it's the most simplest. You always have it with you. It's always in your pocket. Always because I have a DSLR too. So, but when I used to use it to film, it's just a lot of headache now because the phone, the quality of this posting is almost just as good. Like a couple of years ago, maybe like 10 years ago, like the phone did not compare with the camera. But the camera it just became too complicated to carry around with me, you know? Yeah. So, and I like, I could be right here right now, go in the middle of the street, film a video with this dude, and you post it, edit it all right now in like 10 minutes, you know? So nothing against the cameras, but
my cameras are walking off the set right now. It's perfectly fine. Man. No, I always
have 3 legs each.
They'll get out of here. I just always think to myself, like, you're right. The technology has caught up, but there was a period where if you told somebody, or I was doing press row for the UFC. I couldn't bring my phone out and just record like that. If I had a big time guest, like when I was interviewing Lovato, I had to bring a big camera and do that. And then because I'm solo, it would be me going, I hope this works. And then, you flip the camera around, you go, all right, I'm just wishing for the best. But on this particular day and age, now it's completely acceptable. These things all shoot in high resolution now. You can get 4K. But as a result, you do start building up a lot of excess footage there. Well, that's good to know. Okay, so we kind of previewed where you want to take it. You want to kind of at some point transition to doing more comedy. So where does this love of comedy come from? And you mentioned that you were doing videos beforehand. So where does all of that kind of begin for you?
It begins, I'll say high school times. Like ever since I was a little kid, I always wanted a camera. And just because I always thought it was the concept of being able to record something and then you can watch it in like a year. Like that seems so cool to me. Like I feel like nothing else can compare to that, you know? And then camera, eventually my grandma gave me, do you ever remember those, it was like a little camera like the size of your phone and it flips and the USB comes up?
I think
Yeah, my grandma gave me one of those and I was like, I filmed like my first video with that. And I had to download this video editing program. Have you ever heard of AVS video editor?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, I was like 14, 15. I didn't know what I was doing. I just went on like, whatever, Yahoo at the time. I was like, video editor. I just downloaded that. And you know, when you don't know how to edit, you're screwed. I was just learning, and I just made it happen, you know? And I don't know, comedy, you know, like you do comedy. So, you know, it just like, I feel like it's a good skill, and it makes you feel so alive, you know? Like it's just like funny, you know? There's so many funny things that happen in life, like that you know, you can make a joke, you know, here or there, this, that. So, and I truly like that better, but I know it's just, eventually I'll get back to that.
When did you know you were funny? Like, when did that start occurring to you?
I would say it's a lot of people telling me, or that video, man, I watched it like 10 times, or I don't know. And I was like, oh, okay. Like to me, I didn't even know. You don't really know, you know, until people tell you. Then I'm like, oh, okay, I'll make another or something. And then, you know, when you start doing that, then you start meeting other people that do a little bit the same. Then you can start collabing and stuff. So,
do you feel that it took for you to be able to do it through a video form to be there? Or were you telling jokes to your friends, and were you the smart ass, or were you the guy playing sports who would make jokes? Because everybody has a different approach on how they enter a comedy.
I would say it probably was like, it would start 50-50, but you know, like in person comedy is different than video, because video you could kind of be like cheated maybe.
Yeah.
But but I think just being in class and stuff, you know, like, I don't know. I always think of like funny things, like, okay, what would happen right now? Like, what would be a funny thing? Like right now, like if you see someone walking and it's raining, like it's fucked up. But if they just slip and fell back and like threw all their girls, like that would be funny. Like if we just saw that right now, you know, through that window.
Yeah. I mean, it's a perfect scenario. What people can't see on air is at the gym here, there's a large series of windows where, I don't know if you know this, but if we're training, people can see us, and there's a smoke shop right next to us. So we definitely get a dude who goes out there on his smoke break, watches us roll, and I've seen him look at me like, shit, dude. I didn't know you were like that. And then I just look at him like, we're friendly. It's fine. And then all of a sudden you finish rolling with somebody and they're just dead. They're like, oh.
Yeah.
And you go, hey man, I'm friendly. Nice to meet you. We're good people.
Yeah, we're done killing each other.
Exactly. He's fine. He'll be fine.
He signed the waiver.
He did sign the waiver. Also, the video is going up in 2 weeks. So when I asked that question, it's because my approach was, you know, amongst my family, I was kind of a little bit more outgoing. To other people, I would be a mix. So I would be the introvert at times, and I still am, but I can do the extrovert thing like this. So what I would do is, in school, I would take everything so seriously, but I would be the guy writing jokes.
Oh, okay.
And then, you know, that of course leads to other things where I've written jokes for other people. But I didn't necessarily want to be the class clown. I had shit to do. But occasionally I would feed the class clown like, you should say this, and it would land, and he'd be like, oh,
that was good.
And then all of a sudden it became like one day where I was like, oh, people think I'm so serious. That's a different form of comedy. So that if I'm not serious, then they can kind of get a sense of, oh, that's funny. So I played many different things. And I feel like now I'm at an older age where I just go like, oh, if I'm being goofy, I can be very goofy. So I feel like there's not one path. I think people take on different things as they age.
I agree, yeah.
What do you feel your role is in the jiu-jitsu community? Because you have a presence there, and you're definitely very popular, and people come to these videos. So like, where do you see like your contributions to our sport?
I would say my main one will be to grow it, you know, and spread it. Like a lot of people that comment like on TikTok is you know, all the platforms have different age groups, right? So TikTok has more of like the Gen Zs or like younger crowds, and a lot of them, they still don't know what jiu-jitsu is, like, you know, as you would expect they do. Because and I understand why. It's because even in my own family, like, some of them, they grew up with boxing and they just think boxing is top, like, you know, and then they pass that down to their kids, and then the kid is like, oh no, boxing beats jiu-jitsu or whatever, right? But those kids, then they start to see like, oh, this is something else. Oh, what is this? Like, oh, like the smaller guy could beat the bigger guy. This you know, has more of a chance. Like, so I would say it's like my what'd you say? My contribution, yeah, it'll be to grow it, spread it, and show that there's more styles. Like there's not just the sports style of jiu-jitsu. There's also the self-defense aspect, which is like what my school teaches, at the Gracie Academy. So, and I think it is growing. I get a lot of messages. People are like, "Hey, bro, I started jiu-jitsu because of you. Like, thank you."
Oh, sick.
And I'm like, what? Like, because me, I'm like, oh, like my dumbass like helped inspire someone. Oh, like that's pretty cool, So
it's part of the reason why I ask is because I think it's hard to always put yourself into our world and say like, oh, I do this. Like for me, I feel like we do something for jiu-jitsu that's a little unique. A lot of people have podcasts. I don't know that they're all like ours. So I always feel happy in knowing like, oh, well, I tend to be people's first interview. So when that happens, you kind of show them what it is. For you, it's a great entryway to make us laugh and then say like, I don't know, maybe I want to find out what that is. But I feel like you, like I, with Hispanic family members, I grew up in a very boxing heavy family where when I was watching it as a kid, I was like, it's okay. Like, it's nice. And I remembered watching like Oscar De La Hoya fights with my family. I think they took me to one once.
Oh, nice.
And I was just like, yo, this is kind of dope, but I don't know if this is it for me.
Yeah.
And it took for me kind of seeing how the chess element of this is to go, that's my thing. Okay, that's me. And really running with it. So I've had family members especially come up to me and be like, I never thought you would ever get into this.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever have that one family member that says, oh, that wouldn't work on me?
No, I think they know me pretty well. I think while no family member has ever fought me, I'm trying to figure this out. No, my cousin, one of my cousins, he actually did wrestling and jiu-jitsu, and we made a thing of coming in to roll. And at the time, he was way like stronger, bigger than me, and he was like, "I can't do anything with you." And I was like, "Oh, so sad. Oh, you're so big and you can't do anything."
Little baby.
Yeah, but I just knew that like I think my family takes me serious enough to know that I'm just a vengeful grappler if I need to be.
Yeah.
But for the most of the time, I'm the nicest guy in the world. So I don't think anybody's ever crossed that. Plus, it comes from being so serious. If people view you as super serious face, they tend to be a little nicer to you. And it does help because if you are nice to them, then they tend to go, oh, you're not actually mean. You're just saying jokes that are the reverse. Got it. Okay, irony.
Yeah.
So it's helped me through a number of things where I can just kind of diffuse things like that. I'm interested in this because when I look at your page and I'm really studying your stuff, you obviously are intriguing as a jiu-jitsu guy, but there's stuff about you that I find fascinating. Like I've seen you build out arcades and I'm so jealous and I love the way it is because I got one of those multiplayers. And we do a segment on the show where we bring on guests and have them play against each other.
Oh, really?
But I got one of those and I saw you do a build on one and I go, oh my God, that looks amazing. Like you have a Game Boy cabinet. When did you start doing those and how long have you been doing it for?
So what was it during my college years? So with my financial aid money, I would buy like my tools. I never bought the fucking books. Fuck that. Like $150 for a book, you got me fucked up. Okay? I'm gonna go buy myself a saw and make some cool shit. Okay? That's what I literally did. I bought. Cause I was on YouTube when cause I was doing this thing where like every night I need to learn something. So, and I was like, you know what? Ever since I was a little kid, I always wanted an arcade, like the Pac-Man arcade or the Galaga one. But then I was like, I could never afford this. It's like when you're like 20, like 10 years ago, and the arcades are like $2,000. You're like, there's no way. And I was like, you know what? Let me see if there's a way how to make one. And then I found a video and I was like, oh, hell yeah. So then I bought the wood and the first one I made, it actually came out pretty decent. I can't believe, like I made it, like, I made the buttons. It looked legit, And then little by little, I was like, you know what, let me make like the boxes and post them up and see because I was selling them for a while, just the cabinets, and to see if people buy them on OfferUp. And then then I got this one customer Like he was just like, hey, can you just make me the boxes and I'll buy them off you? Like, so that was going on for a while. And then if you make an arcade, you have to use the MDF wood. And if you don't know what it is, it's very messy when you cut it, like a lot of wood dust. So eventually that started to like bug me because I didn't have, and then I was like, I kind of moved away from it. But that Game Boy Cat, I only made one of those. So something, I don't know if you guys, sometimes like things come to your head. And one day I was like, you know what? You should go to Ross. Like something was telling me go to Ross. And I went inside Ross and then I seen like a picture of the Game Boy. Like it was like a nice like acrylic one. And I was like, oh, I gotta buy that. I bought it and then I hung it like at my wall, right? And then one night, I was just staring at it and I was like, I should make that into like a TV cabinet. And then I just did it, you know?
It's so creative. So do you also do the paint job on it as well? So everything, start to finish.
By the wood, the big 90, I think it's 96 inches by 48. I don't know. So the big sheet, boom. And yeah, I cut everything. I have a whole video on it on YouTube.
Okay. We'll definitely link to that. But okay. Did you have any experience doing like any kind of carpentry or any kind of, so this was all self-taught?
Well, my grandpa, before he passed, I would help him, like, you know, like in the summers, my parents would like, go help your grandpa. And I would be like, oh, fuck, I want to watch fucking Nickelodeon. Like, but they would make me go with him. And then, like, you know, at the time you hate it, but then you're like, oh, thank God. Like, they show me some, you know, you learn from, and my grandpa he knew how to do so many things. Like, he'll know how to do anything. Like, you want to hang out that light, he'll know how to do it. So I learned some stuff from him, and then I just took that knowledge, and then, like, you know, I advanced it, you know, to the next thing. And yeah, I feel like too, as a man, you gotta know how to use power tools, you know. So
this is wildly fascinating. I think I've put together a connection between the creativity that you have for your videos and the creativity you have for something like that. You're very visual in your head. You can see it, and you're very good at making that come to fruition. So that is a very impressive skill. I was just telling somebody recently, you know, I'm looking at some point maybe to do a backdrop for the show or to class up my studio version of this. And I told somebody, I'm like, I'm not great at that. I see holes and I know something should go there or do that. I'm better if you show me stuff and maybe I can give you that direction. But man, yeah, from just the work I could see and the way that you were doing it for those like pop-up old school arcade platforms, they looked so legit. Like I thought for a while that was your line of business.
Yeah, it was for a while, but then I kind of like moved away from that.
Yeah. Start to finish, how long does that take to do one?
To do one, if it depends on your skill level. Like when I first started, like you don't know what you're doing, so you mess up on a lot of cuts, right? Especially like on the little degree, like right there. I would say right now, if I were to make one, it would take. Also having the right tools. So right now, maybe like a list, like about maybe 5 straight hours.
Okay.
You could make one, like with all the right tools and everything there, and someone helping you.
Okay. And that's still very impressive time. Like that's not to knock. Like you could probably export that out and you might not get it back for 2 weeks if you ask somebody to do a build like that, you know?
Yeah. Sometimes people still message me too, but when I was making the arcades, this was before the arcade 1-up machines came out. This was before that. So then people were paying that money, and then now like there's little cheap asses. Yeah. They're like, hey, I'll give you $50 for this. Like, man, like. So, yeah.
I understand. I mean, I just want to compliment the work because I was so infatuated by seeing those things and then getting realized. And one of my friends, he's a director, a very, very good director of like big stuff. And I remember maybe about 15 years ago, I went to his house and he's like, oh, I want to take you to like my little area. And I was like, cool. And he had them built out. And I was like, oh, you have money. And this is what a nerd does with money. Oh, shit. Like, so your quality that you were doing all these years later was about that level. So that dude was buying out somebody and paying them well to make those builds. to the point where I was like, yo, do I have to tell my buddy about you? I was like, shit, man, we might have found a new locksmith here. Like,
Damn.
but that's the quality that you were putting out. So compliments and kudos to you. And I feel like those are good things to have as you do transition more into comedy, because since you are such a visualizer, you can make other things happen for sets or things as they get more complex. And that's a really good skill to have as a producer as you start looking for expanding out and doing that. Okay. Let's go to the actual jiu-jitsu origin story. Okay. So obviously we got the idea. You were growing up, you love martial arts, you're watching the anime, you think you're the Green Ranger, though you're clearly more of the Black Ranger. Everybody knows that. But when you start taking classes, what is your first experience like in martial arts, and when is your first jiu-jitsu experience?
So I started, do you remember LA Boxing?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, so I started there with my dad in Torrance. So we were doing Muay Thai and kickboxing. Okay, so we were doing that for a couple months, and then the school added a jiu-jitsu class. So then me and him were like, and at the time I'm 15, like 115 pounds, and I'm with all these grown ass people, right? Like everyone's beating my ass all the time, and I'm like, I could kind of survive, but then like it's not happening for me to beat them.
Yeah.
And then they added jiu-jitsu, and then me and my dad took it, and then it was like I was like, you know, having a fighting chance against them. Like, you know, I would get them sometimes, or they would, like, it was more fair. I was like, oh, I like this. This, I want to do this. So then I kept doing that. And then eventually my dad left, because the guy that was teaching, he's trained at the Gracie Academy. So he was teaching us a lot of, like, you know, our moves, like, you know, Gracie combative things and stuff like that. And eventually, like, my dad, he left to go train there full time, you know, because we weren't even taking the Muay Thai classes no more, or kickboxing. So then he left, and then eventually, like, you know, in your first school, like, you don't want to leave yet. So I still stayed for like a while. And then I was like, you know what, like, I'm gonna go with my dad now. And then I started training with him over there, and I've been there ever since.
What is it like training with your dad? Because I don't know that a lot of people have that experience. It does feel good that he can speak the language of jiu-jitsu with you. But is it also strange in the sense that you're like, oh, the goal is to try and beat him up. The goal is to try and submit him, but that's my old man.
Yeah, well, when I was 15, yeah, because he would always beat me. So, because he always had 20 pounds on me, you know? Like, in all these years, I was like, oh, I can't wait to beat you. I can't wait. And then now that I can, it doesn't feel right. It's like, no, like it doesn't feel like the same, you know? So,
is your dad still training?
Yeah, we're both purple belts.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Does he like come up to you and be like, you know what, you're not going to get a brown belt like that? Or like, is he ever kind of roasting your abilities in jiu-jitsu? Because I feel like my dad would have done that.
No, he knows now, like, oh yeah, like you already surpassed me. Like he's very like mellow. He's not like, he doesn't say things like that. But yeah, he was beating me for a good 10 years, but not no more.
He had a good run. Okay.
Yeah.
With that in mind, though, like, that does make more sense on why he would help you with the videos. So is he ever pitching to you any video ideas?
Here and there, yeah. And I'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, I forgot about that. And it's also good. It's pretty cool because, you know, when you do these videos, the person has to know how to react or like know how to fall to not get hurt.
Yeah.
So when I do it with him, it's perfect because he already knows everything I know. So it just works good, you know?
Are there moments where you find yourself, and this happens in a lot of relationships with parents, that you become more of the teacher to him? Because when we're growing up, they take care of us. But as they get older, we start to take care of them a little bit more. Jiu-jitsu is unique in that you're probably sharing a lot of the stuff you're learning as you go. And that's got to be cool to be able to reinforce that and teach that to your old man.
Yeah, I do show him, like, in class, like, maybe I'll be like, oh yeah, like you do this and this, like, you know, because when you train with somebody that's a lot like advanced with you and knows details, you advance a lot faster, you know?
Yeah.
So I would say, yeah, like, I kind of help him out with things, you know. Nice. Even this guy, he trains too.
Nice. The audience can't see that, but I just
Oh,
when you just point like, ooh, this guy, everybody's like,
there's a guy over there sitting down.
I'm like, I can't turn the camera around. Yes, there is a person here, everybody. He's not just pointing out the dude at the smoke shop and be like, yo, my boy over here. Franz is going to go.
He's been staring at us from the window for the past 30 minutes.
He wants to do it. He wants to sign up. I can tell that. That's got to be really cool. I appreciate that. I love hearing that you and your dad kind of have this ability to bond. A lot of fathers will like go golf or, throw the ball around, but this is unique in itself.
It is, yeah. And I feel like it is a great way for us to bond with each other,
That's cool. Let's transition to this. So I always like to ask people this question. It's one of the founding questions on this show, which is, when did you fall in love with jiu-jitsu? Because you make content about jiu-jitsu. You've done hours of comedy about jiu-jitsu. It's taken on a form that is more than just a hobby. But when did you like kick in for you where you go, no, I like this and I love it so much that I'm going to dedicate more than just doing videos, but also teaching it?
I would say sometime after COVID, like it clicked in my head, so because all these years it's very strange because I started, when I was like 15-ish, right? Yeah. And like jiu-jitsu has always been there, but then never in my head did it click like, oh, you could do this for a living maybe, Like never did that ever click in my head until like maybe past 2-3 years ago. Like, and then I was like, wait a minute, what? Like, it's weird because I did all these other things. Like, make arcades. I was like, oh, maybe I'll get rich doing this. No. I did MMA too. I was like, okay, maybe I'll go join the UFC. And I was, and then I found out about acting. So I was like, I'd rather go be an actor, And then I was in the acting role like for a while. And then I was like, you know what? Like, I'd rather just go do my own thing and then come back over here. And that's what I did.
It is better, I think, to make your own stuff because a lot of times for acting, you're dependent on whatever people are creating. And then it's a process of you don't fit. We like this person better. At least here, if you're creating your own content, you're making your own stuff and it's yours.
Yep. And then like, you go to auditions and you get like 3 callbacks and then, oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Like, Matt, it's like you don't have control of that power.
Yeah.
And I don't like that.
Well,
like I'd rather have control of, I know I'm going to go here or I'm going to be on this.
There's also a premium now in the amount of content you create so that then those people will likely want to work with you, but in a much more respected fashion. So it is good to continue and build and build and build. So I think you're doing the right thing here. Yeah, Speaking of building and building and building, because you guys mentioned something off air.
You want me to build you the Game Boy cabinet?
Well, I don't, hold on. I didn't think that one through. I don't know. I mean, legitimately at some point, if I need something for a set, we'll talk. But I was actually more curious about this. You two gents just casually threw this out there. That you guys might be starting a podcast soon. So, okay, hold on. Let me pull this on out here.
All right.
Why are you guys going to start a podcast? There's too many of us.
Huh? Because you've inspired me.
No. That's not how that works. Bro, listen.
No, but our podcast is going to be different.
What are you guys going to do?
It's going to be comedy.
Okay, that's insulting to me here. We do comedy here, you dick. What kind of comedy are you going to do?
Well, I don't know what to the guy in the back. What kind of comedy are we going to do?
Yeah. Okay, so let me tell you something real quick. You're both very wonderful visual artists. Like you can visualize shit and make it work. You have to know what you're going to do.
This is what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
This is how I'm gonna lead it. Okay. I have these categories, right?
Okay.
I'm not gonna tell them. It's gonna be with him and my friend Lizard.
Okay. Wait, Lizard's making an appearance in this?
Yes.
Is he?
You should see his calves.
Wait, I don't want to see his calves. Thank you.
Do you want to see these calves? Trust me.
What's so unique about these calves?
Trust me. You want to see?
Does he have calves? Implants? Is Lizard actually a lizard? Is he like? No, hold on. This is very confusing. Okay, so it's gonna be the 3 of you guys.
Yeah.
And
so the way I'm gonna do it is I have on my phone. Okay. I'm gonna talk about random ass things. Okay. I just have it on my phone, and I'm not gonna tell them what it is. I'm gonna just bring it up. All right, so we're gonna talk about this, guys. Okay. So
So you're presenting the topic that they're talking about. So it will have some form to it. You have kind of an idea of how you'd like to start it like that.
Yeah, we're gonna start it like that and go. I'm gonna see where it goes. Go with the flow. See what.
Is there a winner and a loser? Is there just like a free form discussion?
Nah, it's just guys.
Okay.
Talking shit.
Okay.
Goofing
Got it.
around.
This is you being Jada bringing it to the red table, but dudes, got it. Okay. Just wanted to make sure I understood what that is. No, I think I am always pro telling people to start their own show. What I do tell them is know your hook, because when people come up to us, they're like, "What are you?" And I'm like, "Well, we're the late night comedy of talk shows for jiu-jitsu. Like I have worked on late night comedy shows. I know how they work, and I know what they do for people when they're done right. So that's kind of our thing. For you, have that one sentence hook, because if you can explain it in one sentence, when you need to book people, easier. When you need to talk to people about it, great. When you need to pitch it to people who have other kinds of money, you have a direction. So that is the one thing I impress upon people is what makes you different. So what is going to make your show different than everybody else's?
Because we're in it, the three of us.
God damn it! All right, we're gonna redo this.
I'm gonna have to work on that.
No, I know. I just hit you with that at the end, but I want to make sure that you're going to be doing that. All right, let's talk about a few things before we start to wrap up here. Yeah. First and foremost, I notice you have this hoodie here.
Yes.
So what is this?
Oh man, are you guys ready?
So that's your camera right there.
Are you ready? Camera?
Yeah.
Camera 3. Okay. So this is my new invention right here. First of its kind, never seen before until like right now, because you're about to see it. This is the Rank Jiu-Jitsu hoodie right here. Check it out. Sold by my mom. Thank you, Mom.
Oh, that's adorable.
Check it out. This is a Rank, Purple Belt Rank hoodie. It's stitched, like touch it, feel the quality.
It's very nice. Yeah. That definitely feels like a gi.
Smell it. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, this is the new invention. We have all the colors: white, blue, purple, brown, black. The kids' colors too.
Where can people get these?
On oosmerch.com. Okay. We have the logo right here in the front. And then for the haters, when you're walking away, because they're gonna put you in a chokehold. They're gonna think twice.
They're gonna because they're gonna know. They're like, oh, this dude trains.
Yeah. Do you ever go to the gym, like workout gym?
Yeah.
Do you ever wear a jiu-jitsu shirt in the gym?
Absolutely.
Do you feel like people look at you like a little different?
I don't know. I think the glasses give them one thing, and then this gives them another thing. But I think the nice part is that I have noticed that when I'm doing jokes to people, it never goes beyond anything else. It's usually me being like, I'm going to throw as many jokes as I want. But if we are going to fight, I think I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
So, but I've also done this for years. And I don't know if you understand this from my backstory is whenever somebody would try to bully me when I was a kid, I would roast them to the point where there would be a crowd of people and I would just roast them and then the bully would just stop because they got clowned. So my whole experience is just looking at people and going, don't do that. Don't make me have to do that. Because if I really want to be, I can be a giant asshole. Yeah. It's just, I prefer to be nice. And so that's my thing. Let me get this straight as well. You mentioned that your mom sewed that?
Yeah.
So that's like your like hired Asian labor that you've got, right?
A child adult labor.
Child adult labor. Yeah. Is she getting a cut of this?
Yeah, hugs. Hugs is her paycheck.
I think your mom needs a better negotiator on her team, but that's well done. I love it.
Whenever her payment is whenever I'm rich and famous, that they're retired. That's their payment.
Fair enough. You'll be taking care of them when they are ready to be taken care of. Well, that's great. What I'm going to do right now is this, because we always like to give an ability for people to give plugs and shout outs to anybody they want to. That, of course, is your camera. You know it very well. So you're going to have the opportunity to go and give shout outs right then and there, sir. So the camera is all on you.
Okay, let's do shout outs to Oosmerch right there, oosmerch.com for sponsoring me, which is myself sponsoring myself. Okay.
It's a tax write-off. Shut the fuck up, everybody.
So shout out to my team, Sam right here, Sam, Lizard, Art, and my parents. Thank you for, shout out to you guys for helping me with everything. And my dog's name is Smokey.
Oh,
because he looks like Smokey the Bear. You know, only you can prevent wildfires.
Well, let's do this. We're going to put a pin on this conversation, but I believe we're going to be seeing you for some time doing more and more work, if not just in the jiu-jitsu landscape. Your creativity and your ability to do it in both the visual form of it and the building form of it has been very fun to watch. So I'm glad that we were able to make this interview happen today. I'm going to do this before we leave, though, because I know that you have this beautiful hoodie here, but I wanted to let you know that we wanted to get you one as well here from our show. Wow. Sir, look at this. Little branding over here. This is for you, sir.
I like that sticker.
Oh, thank you. We definitely try to make it there. It did rain a little bit, so like the bag was really nice, and now it's less. But like, you know what I'm saying?
This is a custom bag now.
So that is 100% a customizable bag. So my appreciation to you, sir. Wear it well. It's a medium is your size, right?
Correct.
Okay. Then you should be all set. But congratulations and thanks to you, sir.
I'll put it on right now.
I appreciate you, man. Sir? Thank you so much for coming by.
We're
going to do some training here in a second, but before we do, I'm going to go ahead and close it up over this way. My thanks to you guys for watching this. A couple quick reminders. Number one, first and foremost, join us on Patreon, $5 a month. See these interviews 30 days before anybody else. You can also give us some love by paying a few extra dollars for extra bonus content that's not available anywhere else, including mini-sodes, Roast Raph, where people roast my competition footage, and you get to see some of the extra stuff that we're putting up that nobody else gets to see anywhere else. More on that later. You can also go on over to our Discord and join us for more conversations, continuing the conversations that we have here on the show. Additionally, I told you, like, comment, and subscribe. And if you didn't know what you wanted to comment on by the end of this video, tell me this. If you guys were playing a video game with our man here, what video game would you want him to build for you? He's not going to do it. He's not. He's retired. But what game would you like? I'm thinking some of you nerds would like the Legend of Zelda setup. I might be partial to like a Super Mario Brothers kind of world. I'm trying to think of like my favorite games. I feel like that kind of shit is so surreal and elevated. I would love a backdrop with that. By the way, Conan O'Brien had the best setup when we were working on this Tonight Show. They had a glass panel and part of it was like Super Mario Brothers themed. And I just remembered thinking in the 7 months he was the host of the Tonight Show, this is a giant waste of money that it is not going to be used anymore. And I'm jealous and I want that set. It's out there somewhere. I know it is. I want to get it. So shout out to him. All right, last thing. Buy this merch. Yo, check this out. Grappling Hour. My man over here. He's got his too. You guys, good. It is. Thank you. Pristine.
Fresh cotton.
It's 100% fresh.
From the field.
But you guys can catch this by going on over to rafesparza.com/merch. You can get it. You can also get a t-shirt there at rafesparza.com merch / you know the deal by now. So go over there, give us some love. T-shirts, $25 each, come in multicolors, and hoodies are $45. You get a combo, it's $60. Save you some cash. And if you're a premium member, you actually get a discount on our Patreon. So I'm just saying, y'all. Anyway, that's going to do it for us here at the Grappling Hour. Guys, thank you so much for watching. It's been a great day for grappling. We'll see you back on the mats.